Is going to be enjoying the sights and sounds of the fireworks, but all that commotion can be really scary for your pets. Shelter workers say they usually get an influx of pets after the 4th of July. So what can you do to make sure that your pets have a safe holiday? Joining us this morning with some tips is Steve Barty with Pet Alliance of Greater Orlando, and he brought his friend Molly with him. Here's Molly down here. Hi, Moll. She seems a little nervous. Molly doesn't like fireworks or new places, right?
So she's new places, the floor, you know, she's with her dad. So
I know, right? It's okay, Molly. She's too cute, Steve. Okay, so talk to me about this night in particular, because the fireworks are constant around some neighborhoods, and it's horrifying for the animals.
Yeah, it really is. So a couple things, you know, we always recommend know your animals. So like walk your dog a little earlier than you normally would. Give them a little bit more exercise. Pay a little bit more of attention to them today. Feed them maybe a little earlier than you would. That way they're not going to miss their meal. They're not going to be as anxious once the fireworks start. A lot of people have in their homes like safe spaces, like upstairs in my closet, my dogs will go and crawl under my slacks. And so I always know if I can't find them, that's where one of them is.
Are, right?
So creating that calming space for a dog. Some people play soft music, you know, or leave the TV on.
Right, especially if you're going to go out, right? If you're going to leave the pets home and you're going to go out to watch the fireworks and people are going to be putting them off in your neighborhood, those are great ideas for when you're not there, right?
So, so white noise machines, anything like that. Exercise your dog. If your dog tends to be a little anxious, exercise your dog a lot more today, and then by nighttime, they'll be a little calmer. Please keep your cats inside. You know, there is a large influx across the country on July 5th of lost animals because they ran, the noise scared them, they ran, they got out of the yard, they got off their collar. You know, I don't go to fireworks festivities, I watch it on TV because I have 3 dogs and 2 of them just really are anxious. So we just like to be around the house, kind of reassuring them, you know, it's kind of life is normal for us, but for them.
Sure, they don't know what's going on. Right,
no
and a lot of times, and this is how we knew with our last dog, is that she was terrified of thunder. And if your dog is terrified of thunder, they will likely be terrified of fireworks. We were talking in the commercial break about their thunder shirts, right? It's something that you can put on your animal. But we were discussing them. We tried that with our pet. It didn't work for us, but it might work for other people.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you know, it didn't work for me, but I have friends that it worked for, and it's basically a shirt that you wrap around. You have to start it. If you go out and get one today, it's not really going to work.
You need to train yourself.
You do need to train yourself and the dog, and it's kind of works on compression, and so there's a flap that it squeezes a little bit, and
it's like swaddling a baby, kind of.
Swaddling a baby, said to release endorphins. You know, last night my neighbor started setting off fireworks. My Schnauzer, you know, crawled up in my arm and fell asleep. You know, there's a couple schools of thoughts on that. Some people think if you over coddle your anxious dog, it just creates more anxiety. My school of thought, it's my dog. If he wants to sit in my lap and calm down, then, you know.
It's your baby.
So you do you, and I'm okay with that. You know, and I'll do me. I carried Molly in.
Right, you did.
I know.
He's a good dog dad. Okay, so Steve, you mentioned about the collar. Some dogs get out of their collars, but really important to make sure that you do have some kind of tag on them, right? Especially if you leave them out in a fenced-in yard, because if they're really scared, they can jump a fence, right?
They can jump a fence, and you know, so we all know today's heat index is going to be like what, 110?
Sure, very hot.
So don't leave your dog outside. Don't leave your cat outside. They need to have plenty of water. Be inside. You know, you don't want to be outside all day. But yes, some dogs have the ability to jump and scale 6- and 8-foot fences rather easily. You know, when they're scared, they are trying to get to a safe space or away from what is scaring them. So have their collar on. I mean, Molly's got her collar. You can't see it.
She's very hairy, Steve.
She's got lots of hair. She's got her collar
you're a
on.
USF fan, I see.
Bulls.
Yes, okay.
So she does have her. She has her tag on. She's microchipped, so if she got lost, they would be able to call me.
Good one.
If you have your animal microchipped and you've recently moved or you moved a couple years ago, please go online and update that information, or they will call an old number and it'll be hard to track you down. We do get that a lot where it says, you know, number no longer valid.
Right, okay.
And that's super easy. You just go online and change
that. You can update it. Steve, thank you so much from the Pet Alliance of Greater Orlando. Great to see you. Great to meet Molly. She's warming up, by the way.
Yeah.
She's finally actually looking up. When she first got in here, she was like, don't look at me. Don't look at me.
It takes me a minute, but
She's
it was
adorable.
a risk. It was a risk bringing her.